So with Brendan at the Tooradin tractor pull with his Pro Stock smoker, a highly modified diesel John Deere.
That's correct, mate. Yeah, it's a John Deere 7810 tractor originally, 180 horsepower on a farm. Now it's modified to 1125 horsepower, 24-foot, 100-footer torque. It was built in the US, Sullivan, Indiana. We bought it 7 years ago. We've run it here for 5 years. The engine block is a John Deere 6.7 litre 466 with a bullet crankshaft, bullet cam, bullet rods, ceramic pistons, stop them cooking inside, water injection, 14mm diesel fuel pump.
So you mentioned this is still the John Deere OEM block that was originally 180 horsepower.
Yep, this block would have been originally, John Deere 466, 180 horsepower. It's hard to believe that an engine you can do so much to it and get that much out of it, yeah.
So what would the increase, would you run a lot more RPM on this engine than it was when it was standard?
Yep, when it was standard, it probably tops 3,000 revs. On the line, we've 3,500 revs sitting there hooked up to the sled. By the time I get three-quarter track, it's like 6,000 revs.
You mentioned just 17 pounds of boost. That's not really much for a diesel at all, really.
A 17 pounder boost with the water injection, that's how all that comes together. Yeah, when the water injection comes on, you'll see the black smoke come on. When we're on the start line, that's the boost is ready to go, and drop the crowler clutch and hold on. We have a 3-speed gearbox, which we only pull in one gear, which is usually third.
You do just start in top gear and pull?
Yep, we have a crowler clutch which will take up the slack of the gearbox, but third gear is top sprocket, and that's what we really go for, is third gear. We love a lot of wheel spin.
How often do you get full pulls, or is that completely based on track conditions generally?
Track conditions and a good hook, you will get a full pull.
We've noticed you've been getting the wheels up a bit. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, the wheels are coming off the ground. She's biting really good today, the track, yeah. But we go all over Victoria, South Australia, New South Wales, and ground conditions change a little bit. You might pull 10 metres better on another track, all to do with weather. Tooradin this year had an inch of rain on Thursday, and they've put on a really good show today, so we're lucky to be here. With the Australian Tractor Pull Association, we have 3 classes of these Pro Stock smokers. That's our class. That's what it's called. We have 3.8 tonne. Is our first class. So the tractor weighs 3.8 tonne. We're going to hook up to the sled. The sled is set on weight. As we go down the track, it's like time over distance. We've got to drag our weight, and the weight box comes forward, puts more weight on our back end, which slows us down. We've got to dig more dirt. The second class will be 4.2. We'll come back to the pits here. We'll re-weight with suit coat weights, bring us up to 4.2 tonne. We'll go back over the weighbridge. We'll get set to go for our run. The next class is 4.8 tonne. So the same thing, we'll come back to the pits, we'll re-weight up, we'll go back over the weighbridge. We're not allowed to just not go over the weighbridge, get scrutineered.
Is the scoring done if no one makes full pulls? Is it average of the runs or the best total, the highest run?
Yep. So just for an example, if this tractor pulled 90 metres as a test pull, the sled operator would set the sled. The next, I'm allowed to go back if I choose to. If not, I can take that pull. Then the next tractor will come out. The idea, he's got to beat me. He's got to beat 90 metres.
Oh, so it's not based on an average of... No.
It's whoever does a full pull or pulls over the first test pull. In our first run today, Wicked Whitetail came out second. First tractor went out there, made 90 odd metres. I went out with Wicked Whitetail and only bet him by 330 mil. There's not a lot in it, but it's about getting a good hook, you know. So
it's a bit hard to steer though when the wheels aren't on the ground.
No, we run outboard brakes, we don't run the hydraulic tractor brakes, and she takes a bit of hanging on to, really, yeah.
Tell us about the difference. We've filmed both of these today. They look pretty similar. Yours probably sounds... These two definitely sound angrier than the third one over there. So is there much mechanically difference between the two?
Yeah, there is a lot of difference between these three tractors. These two tractors that belong to me, the John Deere and the Wicked Whitetail, they both come out of the US with a lot of technology. The other tractor has been built and it's running with a lot of standard equipment in it, and it does a really good job for what it's doing. Brian, the guy who previously owned it, he put a really good engine in it out of Denmark. The engine failed, so they've put the older engine back in just to keep our sport going. And in the meantime, Alan's bought a newer engine, which is coming out of Denmark as we speak.
So that's similar to this, a 6.7 litre, something like that?
It'll be a 6.7 litre, 510 cubic inch engine. That's our biggest capacity we're allowed to run. When that engine gets here and he puts it in that tractor, we'll be up for a bit of a challenge.
So you mentioned earlier too, 2,400 foot-pounds. To the younger ones who don't know what foot-pounds is, that's about 3,200 newton-meters.
That's correct, 3,200 newton meters, yes. Around 4,500, it's really barking at those newton meters, yeah. Every tractor's class has got its own set of rules. This Pro Stock class, we have to have two cables around the block. So if the head separates, it only breaks in the middle. If it was only at the back, it'd come over and hit the driver. And if it was only on the front, it'd go out and you'd probably be able to run over the head. So Australian Tractor Pull Association's got a cable at each end. The head breaks, just snaps in the middle, which is fine. Haven't had that happen yet. Here we have a fuel shut-off. So if the tractor just went into runaway mode of the engine, if the engine just over-revved, pull this cable here, which I've got the knob up the top there, pull that and it shuts every bit of diesel off to the engine. But if we were hooked up to the sled, we have another gate on the turbo and a cable at the back, it's hooked to the sled. So if we were going down the track and something happened and the sled operator was to think this man's out of control, he could pull that gate would shut all the air and the fuel off through the turbo. The engine would just die, a heap of white smoke would come out. We run a cover for the balancer, a harmonic balancer cover, sorry, in case the end of the crank block breaks off. What's got to happen? You can't have the tractor out of control. This cable here is what gets hooked to the sled, and if the sled operator thinks I'm out of control, like I was saying before, pull that and it'll shut the gate on the turbo. The weights are on the back of this tractor, they're on the belly and they're on the front. Different tracks will run more weight on the belly, not so much on the front. If a track's really biting, I'll spread them out so I can keep the front down, everything's working good. With these tyres we've got here, we sharpen them once a season, just depends on how hard the tracks are. But on this tractor, because it's got a lot of wheel spin, we want friction, we don't want traction, because the wheel's spinning that hard. We only want to dig a small amount of dirt. Where with a lower ratio tractor, we would have lugs, because we want to bite our way down the track, and that tractor would be able to walk all through that dirt.
These are all your winning stickers, are they?
Yeah, we've haven't put a couple on actually. Yeah, Indiana State and Lucas Oils, went to Lucas Oils. Then we come to Australia and went 2010, 2011, 12 points championship, and we pulled off the 2015 as well, but that sticker's not on there yet. This tractor's really a performer, yeah. She really puts on a good show.
Thanks for your time today, Brendan, explaining in detail the tractor, and good luck for the rest of the night. You're putting on a good show out there. Yep,
we love to come to every tractor pull on a good show, and really appreciate you guys giving us the time to do an interview like this, because it's only going to get our sport bigger and better, and you guys are what we need. So really appreciate it. Thank you very much.